When you feel like giving up, that's the very moment when God is whispering, do not quit now, because I am not done with you yet. My friend, listen carefully. God never abandons a heart that still beats with faith. You may feel tired, invisible, or forgotten, but heaven is watching the silent fight inside you. God knows the tears you cried when no one was there. God knows the thoughts that trembled in your mind when you tried to stay strong but felt your strength fading, and yet you are still here. That alone is a sign that God is not finished writing your story. Every breath you take is proof that God has not given up on you. When life pushes you to your knees, that is not your defeat, it's your positional power. Because from your knees, you can look up to the one who holds everything together. You see, when you reach the end of yourself, you reach the beginning of God's power. When your plans fall apart, His plans start to unfold. God never wastes pain. God never allows a storm without a purpose. If you could see what He sees, you would not complain about what you're going through. You would prepare for what is coming next. You may think you've lost too much, failed too many times, or waited too long. But God specializes in turning impossible seasons into divine turning points. The moment you think it's over, that's when He begins. God does not operate on your clock. He operates on purpose. What you call delay, He calls development. What you call rejection, He calls redirection. What you call failure, He calls preparation. God never moves too early, and He never arrives too late. He moves at the exact moment when your heart is ready to see His hand clearly. So don't give up. Don't give up when people misunderstand you. Don't give up when doors close. Don't give up when your heart breaks. Because the same God who gave you the dream will give you the strength to see through. You were not born to quit. You were chosen to overcome. There is a strength inside you that has not yet been revealed, and God is using your current struggle to uncover it. Every challenge, every disappointment, every lonely night, it is shaping your spirit to become stronger than the storm you are facing. Sometimes God allows you to walk through silence so you can hear His voice more clearly. When people leave, when friends stop calling, when the noise fades, that's when God begins to whisper to your heart. He says, I am still here. The world may forget you, but God never does. You are engraved in His plan. You are not an accident of existence. You are a masterpiece in progress. The process may be painful, but the outcome will be glorious. Don't despise where you are, because this is the very ground where God is training you for your destiny. You may ask, why does it hurt so much? Why is this path so hard? Because greatness is never born in comfort. Diamonds are not formed in peace. They are formed under pressure. The fire you feel is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to refine you. God uses fire not to burn His chosen ones, but to purify their faith. He is burning away fear, doubt, pride, and everything that cannot go with you to the next level. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. God is transforming your wounds into wisdom, your pain into power, and your setbacks into strength. Every time you say, I can't do this anymore, heaven whispers back, you can, because I am with you. You are not walking alone through this valley. God walks beside you in silence. And sometimes He carries you when you cannot take another step. Don't measure your progress by how far you've gone. Measure it by the fact that you never stopped moving. Even when you crawl, God sees it as faith. Even when you only whisper prayers with the tears, God calls it courage. Even when you fall, God calls it growth. There are moments when God hides the result so that you will learn to trust the process. If you saw everything now, you would not need the faith. So He covers the future with a mystery, not to torment you, but to train you. God wants your trust more than your understanding. He wants your heart more than your answers. Sometimes the question you keep asking, why, is the very question that's blocking your peace. Because God does not always explain Himself, but He always reveals Himself in the end. You may not realize it yet, but you are walking through a sacred process. Every closed door, every waiting season, every unanswered prayer, it is forming something holy inside you. God is not ignoring you. He is investing in you. When you feel delayed, remember this. God delays because He is designing. He's aligning the right people, the right timing, the right opportunities. While you worry about what you can see, God is working in the realm you cannot. He is positioning the pieces of your destiny into perfect order. Don't mistake silence for absence. Don't mistake stillness for inactivity. When God seems quiet, that's when He's doing His deepest work. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It's hidden, it's dark, it's silent. But in that hidden place, life is being formed. Roots are growing before fruit appears. In the same way, God hides you before He elevates you. He roots you before He reveals you. He matures your spirit before He magnifies your success. The waiting is not the punishment, it's a protection. God hides His treasures until the time is right. The world will tell you to give up if things don't happen fast. But God's pace is not the world's pace. God values foundation more than speed. A skyscraper takes years of unseen construction beneath the ground before it rises into the sky. Likewise, your unseen seasons are not wasted. They are the very structure that will sustain your future. If God is taking His time, it's because He is building something that will last. So stay patient, stay faithful, stay anchored. Because when God moves, He will move suddenly, and every delay will make sense. Don't envy others who seem to rise faster. You don't know the cost of their path, and they don't know the purpose of yours. God is not comparing stories. He is crafting destinies. The blessings meant for you will not miss you, and the doors meant for you will not open for someone else. When it's your time, no one can block what God has ordained. So don't compete. Don't complain. Just trust that God's timeline is perfect, even if it doesn't align with your expectations. Sometimes the reason God hasn't answered yet is because He's protecting you from what you cannot handle right now. The delay is mercy in disguise. If you receive everything you ask for too soon, it might crush you. God's no is not rejection, it's redirection. His delay is not denial, it's development. When you mature in patience, peace, and perseverance, then you'll see why the wait was necessary. There is a reason storms come before the sunrise. Because the night teaches you to value the light. God uses darkness to reveal what can only be seen in faith. When you can't see the way forward, that's when He invites you to walk by trust, not sight. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is standing firm even when nothing looks fine. Faith is not denying the pain. It's choosing to believe that pain has purpose. Faith says, I may not understand, but I will not give up because I know God is still in control. You see, surrendering to God is not weakness, it's strength in its purest form. When you stop trying to force everything and simply say, God, I trust you, something powerful shifts in the unseen realm. because trust opens the door to divine movement. God cannot fill hands that are clenched with fear, but He can bless hands that are open in faith. So release what you cannot control and let God do what only He can do. Your life is not over because things went wrong. God can rewrite your story in one moment. One divine instruction, one unexpected opportunity, one act of obedience, that's all it takes for your entire situation to turn around. God has a way of using the most painful chapters as the foundation of your greatest testimony. What you thought disqualified you is the very thing God will use to qualify you. The rejection you faced will become the red carpet that leads you into your destiny. Maybe you prayed and cried and still see no change. Don't stop. Every prayer leaves a mark in the spiritual realm. Every tear you shed has been counted by God. He is not ignoring your cries. He is gathering them, and when the appointed time comes, they will return as answered blessings. God is not deaf to your pain. He's teaching you endurance through it. You may feel weak, but weakness is not failure. It's the place where God's strength shines brightest. When you admit you cannot do it alone, that's when His power begins to flow. God's grace is not given to the perfect. It's given to the persistent. You don't need to have it all together. You just need to keep believing that He is still working. Don't give up on your purpose because of one difficult season. Flowers don't bloom in winter, but that doesn't mean the roots are dead. Your purpose is still alive, even if it's unseen. Seasons change, and when your spring comes, everything will blossom again. But if you quit during the winter, you'll never see the harvest God prepared for you. So stay planted, stay rooted, stay faithful through the cold, because warmth is coming. Every great destiny passes through the wilderness. Before God brings you into abundance, He will test you in scarcity. Before He gives you influence, He will test your humility. Before He gives you success, He will test your patience. These tests are not punishment, they are qualifications. If you can trust God in the drought, you can be trusted with the rain. God never forgets your faithfulness. The world may not notice your efforts, but heaven records every act of faith, every kind word, every quiet prayer. Nothing you do in faith is ever wasted. When the reward comes, it will come pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You may have to wait, but when God rewards you, He will do it publicly for all to see what He saw privately. Don't give up because you feel small. Remember that the smallest seed can grow into the tallest tree. Great things always start small. God loves to take the overlooked and make them extraordinary. If you feel forgotten, that's a sign you're being prepared for something that requires isolation. The hidden season is holy. It's where God reveals Himself to you personally. There will come a time when everything you endured will make sense. You'll look back and realize that every closed door protected you. Every disappointment guided you. Every delay prepared you. And every tear strengthened you. You'll see that what you thought was breaking you was actually building you. You'll see that what you lost gave space for what was meant to come. God never wastes anything, not your pain, not your waiting, not your failures. Everything is a thread in the fabric of your destiny. When you walk through a season where everything feels dark and uncertain, that is often the very place where God is working most powerfully behind the scenes. You may not feel His hand, you may not hear His voice, but that does not mean He is absent. It means He is operating in silence, constructing something sacred that your eyes are not yet ready to see. God hides His greatest miracles in what looks like ordinary days. He conceals divine breakthroughs within your pain, your routine, your struggle. Do not despise the small, silent days, for those are the days that prepare you to carry great glory. God is telling you, stay steady when nothing makes sense, because the unseen world is moving in your favor. When God calls you to endure, it is because He is strengthening the inner walls of your faith. The outer world may collapse, but your inner spirit, held by God, becomes unshakable. People often think strength is measured by how loud, visible, or powerful one appears. But God measures strength in silence, in obedience, in consistency. True strength is when you remain faithful even when you don't see any reward. It is when you continue to do what's right even when the world applauds what's wrong. That's when heaven takes notice. God's eyes are upon those who still believe even when it hurts to believe. There are moments when God allows you to face battles that feel far too heavy. You look at yourself and think, why me? Why now? Why this pain? But you must understand that God does not allow weight without purpose. The weight is what builds your spiritual muscle. Without the challenge, you would remain ordinary. God places you in deep waters, not to drown you, but to teach you how to swim in faith. Every difficulty carries divine intention. You might be asking God to remove the storm, but God might be saying, learn to walk on it. You are capable of far more than you realize because you carry the strength of the one who created you. Sometimes God will allow things to fall apart, not because He wants to hurt you, but because He wants to rebuild you on a firmer foundation. If the structure of your life was built on fear, on pride, on human validation, God will let it crumble so that He can replace it with faith, humility, and divine purpose. You cannot carry divine blessings on a foundation that is weak. So when life feels like it's collapsing, understand this: God is doing renovation. He is tearing down walls that no longer serve your future. The demolition you feel is not destruction. It is the preparation for a greater structure. The truth is, God will never let you stay comfortable in places that are beneath your destiny. The very discomfort that makes you want to quit is often the tool God used to push you forward. Pain can become a prophet. It speaks to you, telling you that where you are is no longer enough for where you are meant to be. If you feel a holy restlessness inside you, don't suppress it. God is awakening something new. He stirs your spirit before He shifts your surroundings. The ache you feel is the signal of transformation. And when you find yourself waiting for breakthrough, waiting for healing, waiting for clarity, remember that waiting is not wasted when it is surrendered to God. Waiting is a divine classroom where patience, wisdom, and discernment are taught. You cannot rush what God is growing. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seed every morning to check if it's growing, you must trust that God is at work even when you cannot see any progress. Faith grows in hidden soil. God's timing is the soil in which miracles take root. So wait without panic. Wait with quiet confidence, knowing that God's plans are always worth the delay. Sometimes the reason God delays your progress is because He is protecting you from success that would destroy you. You may think you are ready, but God sees the unseen, the motives, the weaknesses, the traps. His love is so deep that He will withhold what you want to give you, what you need. The closed doors are divine shields. The unanswered prayers are acts of mercy. One day, you will look back and thank God that He didn't give you what you thought you needed, because what He had planned was infinitely greater. There are also times when God asks you to walk alone, not because He wants you lonely, but because He wants you to learn that His presence is enough. People may leave, friends may fade, but when you walk alone with God, you discover a companionship that no human can replace. Solitude is not abandonment, it is alignment. It's the place where you stop depending on the world to validate your worth. It's where you learn that your identity is not in approval, but in purpose. When you can walk with peace, even in isolation, that's when you have entered the deepest level of faith, trusting that God is your company, your guide, your source of strength. When you feel weary, when your heart aches with exhaustion, speak to your soul. I will not give up because God is still with me. Remember, weariness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you've been fighting for something that matters. God sees the quiet warriors, those who choose love over bitterness, faith over fear, peace over panic. Every time you choose to keep living when it would be easier to quit, you become a living testimony of divine endurance. God's power shines brightest through those who refuse to give up, even when the night seems endless. You may not realize it, but your endurance is inspiring unseen life. There are people watching how you handle your trials, and through your perseverance, they will find hope for their own battles. God often uses your story to strengthen others. The pain you are carrying today could be the message that saves someone tomorrow. So when you keep standing, you are not only honoring God, you are helping others find their way back to faith. Never underestimate the impact of your persistence. It is part of a larger divine design. God's path is rarely the easiest, but it is always the surest. You may walk through deserts, but those deserts are leading to rivers. You may pass through valleys, but those valleys will lead you to higher mountains. You may cry now, but those tears are watering the soil of your destiny. God never forgets the tears that fall in silence. Each one is a seed of future joy. What you sow in sorrow, you will one day reap in strength. There will come a point when you stop asking God, when will this end? And start saying, God, thank you for what you're doing through this. That's when transformation begins. When your perspective shifts from frustration to faith, you align with divine flow. You start to see that even your delays, your disappointments, and your detours were carrying hidden blessings. God doesn't just work around your pain, He works through it. Sometimes you have to lose what is temporary to receive what is eternal. You have to release what you thought was everything so that God can give you what truly is. There's freedom in surrendering control, not because you are giving up, but because you are giving it over. Letting go is not weakness, it's an act of spiritual power. It's declaring that God knows better, that His wisdom surpasses your understanding. When you stop fighting against the season you are in and start flowing with God's timing, peace will flood your spirit. Because true peace is not found in perfect circumstances, it's found in divine trust. The storm outside cannot shake a heart that rests in God's will. And that's where real strength comes from. You can walk through chaos and still have calm inside you when you know who holds your destiny. God is telling you not to give up, because what you are facing right now is not the end. It's preparation for a new beginning. The pressure you feel is the sign that something is about to be born. Labor is painful, but it leads to life. The spiritual contractions you feel are proof that something greater is on the horizon. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep walking. You are closer than you think. Even when you have nothing left to give your trust to God. When you can no longer run, walk. When you can no longer walk, stand. And if all you can do is whisper, God, I still believe, that is enough. Because faith is not about never falling, it's about never staying down. God lifts those who refuse to surrender. The smallest act of faith can move the greatest mountain when placed in the hands of the Almighty. Do not define your future by your current situation. What looks like an ending to you is simply the middle of God's story. He is the master author, and His narratives always turn broken beginnings into triumphant endings. The scene you're living right now is not your final chapter. God is still writing. Every delay, every disappointment, every closed door, it's all part of the plot that will one day make perfect sense. There will come a time in your journey when the storm grows louder and the path ahead grows darker. It will feel as if the world has turned against you and your strength has run out. But in that very moment, when everything seems impossible, that is when you must remind your soul that God is not silent. He is strategizing. The silence of God is not the absence of His presence. It is the preparation for His power. When you hear nothing, when you feel nothing, when all you have left is faith that barely flickers, hold on. Because just when you think you reached your breaking point, that's when God reveals that He was holding you the entire time. You see, it is often in the deepest despair that the greatest faith is born. God refines your trust, not when everything is easy, but when everything is uncertain. When you cannot see your next step, when you cannot predict the outcome, when your heart trembles and your mind is weary, that is the sacred space where faith grows. God is not testing you to break you. He is training you to depend on Him completely. He is teaching your heart to see beyond logic, to walk beyond sight, and to trust beyond comfort. Because faith that has never been challenged is faith that has never been proven. When you face the unknown, remember this: the unknown to you is already known to God. The darkness that surrounds you is not darkness to Him. The confusion that clouds your mind is clear before His eyes. He sees the path from beginning to end, and nothing surprises Him. Every obstacle, every delay, every setback, He saw it before you ever got there, and He already built a way through it. You are not walking toward uncertainty. You are walking through a plan that God has already completed. You may not see the destination, but God has already prepared it. So why do we feel like giving up? Because we look at the size of the problem instead of the power of God. We measure our own strengths and forget the one who holds the universe. We think that if we cannot fix it, it cannot be fixed. But God is not limited by your ability. He is revealed through your surrender. When you stop trying to carry the burden alone and hand it over to Him, you make room for miracles. You create a space for divine intervention. God cannot fill what is already full of fear, but when you empty yourself of worry, He fills you with wisdom, courage, and peace. There will be times when you feel forgotten, but you are never unseen. God sees every effort you make in secret, every sacrifice that no one applauds, every tear that no one wipes away. You may feel overlooked by people, but you are handpicked by God. His recognition is far more powerful than human praise. When God decides to elevate you, no one can stop it. When He opens a door, no one can close it. So don't be discouraged when the world ignores your efforts. Heaven is watching, and God rewards faithfulness in ways far greater than applause. Some of you have been waiting for years for healing, for clarity, for breakthrough, and you begin to wonder if God even remembers your prayers. But let me tell you this, no prayer is ever lost. When you speak to God, your words never disappear into the air. They are stored in the chambers of heaven. Every prayer you thought went unanswered is waiting for its appointed time. And when that time comes, everything will happen suddenly. What took years to pray for can manifest in moments when God says, now. Sometimes God delays to mature your heart, because what He wants to give you is not just a blessing, it's a responsibility. And responsibility requires strength. God will not give you something that you are not prepared to carry. So while you wait, He is shaping you, strengthening you, and teaching you how to handle what is coming. The waiting is not punishment, it's protection. If you saw what God was building, you'd understand why it's taking time. When you walk with God, you must learn that obedience is more powerful than understanding. There will be seasons where He asks you to move without knowing the destination. He will ask you to trust when logic tells you to quit. He will ask you to stay when every emotion in your body wants to run. And if you can obey without full clarity, that's when miracles begin to unfold. Because obedience is the key that unlocks divine favor. You may not understand where He's leading you, but when you follow His guidance, you look back and realize that every step, no matter how confusing, was perfectly aligned with your destiny. Never underestimate the power of consistency in faith. Some people want instant transformation, but God works through process. Faith is built like a muscle. It grows with the repetition, with the daily trust, with the unwavering perseverance. Every time you choose to trust God, instead of panicking, you are training your spirit to become unbreakable. You are building a spiritual foundation that no storm can destroy. God doesn't want you to give up, because there's something divine growing in you that can only come through endurance. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you, it's meant to birth power. The hardship you're facing is not punishment, it's the path to purpose. The confusion you're battling is not chaos, it's the classroom of faith. God allows the storm because He knows you are strong enough to stand through it. You may not believe that, but He does. He placed the strength in you long before the battle began. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from victory, because the outcome was already written in heaven before the battle ever started. There are moments when you will feel that everything is against you. People may doubt you. Plans may fail. Resources may run out. But even then, you are not alone. God's presence does not leave you because circumstances change. His presence is not conditional, it's eternal. He walks beside you through the fire and never lets the flames consume you. He walks with you through the flood and never lets the water drown you. He is not watching from a distance. He is standing within the storm with you. When you realize that, something shifts. You stop being afraid of what might happen and start trusting that whatever happens will be used by God for your good. Every detour is direction. Every loss is a lesson. Every trial is a teacher. Nothing that happens to you is wasted in the hands of God. He can take the most painful experience and turn it into the most powerful testimony. The place where you once cried will become the place where you will later stand in gratitude. The pain you once cursed will become the wisdom you one day thank Him for. Don't let temporary suffering convince you that permanent defeat is coming. Suffering is seasonal. Even the longest night eventually gives way to dawn. The laws of nature reflect the faithfulness of God. Darkness always yields to light. Cold winters always give way to spring. And your season of sorrow will not last forever. God has set an appointed time for your joy to return. But you must learn to praise God, even in the middle of your struggle. Praise is not just gratitude for what you have. It is a declaration of trust in what is yet to come. When you praise in pain, you are declaring that your faith is greater than your fear. Praise confuses despair. It silences doubt, and it draws divine power into your situation. Even when tears run down your face, lift to your heart and say, God, I still trust you. Those words carry weight in heaven. And when it feels like everything has been taken from you, remember this. No one can take what God has reserved for you. You may lose possessions. You may lose people. You may lose peace for a moment. But you can never lose God's purpose. What He has written for your life cannot be erased by anyone's opinion, rejection, or betrayal. You are walking through chapters that will soon make sense in the full story. God's wisdom often hides behind what feels like confusion. But confusion to you is clarity to Him. You see pieces, He sees the whole picture. You see delay, He sees divine order. You see loss, He sees rearrangement. Trust that His view is greater than yours. Because one day, when the pieces come together, you will see that the very things that tried to destroy you became the foundation of your destiny. So do not give up. Do not give in to despair. Do not surrender your peace to fear. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep listening for that still, quiet voice that says, I am with you. Because even when it seems you are alone, you are surrounded by the presence of the Almighty. Every step you take in faith is seen, cherished, and strengthened by His unseen hand. And when the day comes that you finally stand in the place you once prayed for, you will realize that God was faithful all along. You will look back and understand that every tear watered your growth, every delay built your patience, and every hardship shaped your heart into something powerful, something unshakable, something divine. Because in the end, it was never about how strong you were, it was about how deeply you trusted. The greatest victory is not in avoiding the struggle, but in trusting God through it. The greatest faith is not in escaping the fire, but in walking through it with the peace. The greatest miracle is not in never falling, but in always rising again with your heart anchored in God. So let this truth settle into your soul. You will make it. You will rise again. You will overcome. Because God is not done. He is still writing, still shaping, still leading you forward. What He began in you, He will bring to completion in His perfect time. So lift your eyes, steady your heart, and keep walking. The same God who carried you this far will carry you all the way. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not for everyone. It is for those who are tired of being stuck in the same place, those who have felt trapped in a cycle of waiting, those who have cried in silence, wondering when God will remember them. This is for the ones who have walked through the desert for too long, who have faced delay after delay, disappointment after disappointment, and yet somehow still kept believing God is about to launch you into a new dimension. Not the same old level, not a slight upgrade, but a divine acceleration that will make every struggle, every sleepless night, and every tear make sense. When God moves, He does not move gradually, He moves suddenly. One word from God, one act of divine intervention can shift your entire destiny in a single moment. You may have been hidden, overlooked, and underestimated, but God is preparing to announce you. There are seasons in life when you feel invisible. You do everything right. You work hard. You pray. You obey. And yet it feels like nothing is happening. But listen, when God hides you, it's never rejection. It's preparation. The hidden seasons are where He builds your character. They are where He fortifies your spirit and molds your faith so that when He launches you, you will not crumble under the weight of what He gives you. Some people are asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Because you are still being refined. You're still being shaped. God is still aligning the right doors, removing the wrong people, and strengthening your spirit for the place He is about to take you. Every launching requires a platform. And before God launches you, He constructs one beneath your feet. You may not see it yet, but every pain, every delay, every closed door is part of the foundation He's been building. He has been establishing your endurance so that when the moment comes, you will rise with power and not pride. When a rocket is about to launch, the countdown begins in silence. The engines are tested, the systems are checked, and there's tension in the air. Nobody claps during preparation. But when the countdown hits 0, the noise shifts, the ground shakes, and what was once grounded breaks free into a new realm. That's what God is doing with you. You've been in countdown mode, and now your time of divine liftoff is approaching. God does not launch people who are unprepared. He allows trials to test your faith, setbacks to strengthen your endurance, and isolation to deepen your dependence on Him. If you've been through fire and you're still standing, that means you're ready. You've survived what destroyed others. You've kept your faith when others lost theirs. You've prayed when you could have quit. You've walked by faith when sight gave you nothing to hold on to. And now, God is saying, it's time for a new dimension of purpose, time for a new level of wisdom, time for a new measure of favor that cannot be explained by human logic. You see, a new dimension is not just a promotion, it is a transformation. It means your thinking must expand, your faith must grow, and your trust must deepen. God cannot place you in a higher realm with a lower mindset. Some people want elevation, but they still carry the mentality of fear, doubt, and self-pity. You cannot step into a divine future holding onto an earthly mindset. When God launches you, He requires surrender. You must let go of control. You must release what was and trust Him for what will be. The reason many people never enter their new dimension is because they keep trying to drag old attitudes, old relationships, and old limitations into a new space. But God is saying, leave them behind. The dimension you are about to enter will not tolerate small thinking. It will not tolerate emotional immaturity. It will not tolerate compromise. Sometimes God has to remove people from your life before He elevates you. Because where He's taking you, not everyone can go. There are those who were good for your past, but dangerous for your future. God is protecting your destiny by subtracting distractions. Don't cry over who left. They weren't part of your divine trajectory. When a rocket launches, pieces fall off. Not everything attached to you in the beginning is meant to stay with you in flight. Let it go. God is not trying to hurt you. He's trying to free you. The separation is divine preparation. He is positioning you for encounters you have never imagined and opportunities you have never seen. In this new dimension, you will operate from revelation, not emotion. You will no longer react to situations. You will discern them. God is opening your spiritual eyes so that you can see what others cannot see. He's giving you divine insight to walk with authority and confidence. What once confused you will soon make sense. The closed doors you resented will be revealed as a protection. The delays you hated will be exposed as divine timing. God's strategy is beyond human understanding. He does not explain, He reveals. And when He reveals, it will silence every doubt and every critic that ever questioned your calling. This launch into a new dimension will not be comfortable. It will stretch your faith. It will require discipline. It will call for a deeper level of obedience. But the reward is greater than the cost. You cannot experience the supernatural while clinging to the familiar. The comfort zone is the enemy of growth. God is shaking you because He is shifting you. He is unsettling you because He is repositioning you. He is stirring your spirit because He is about to do something you have never seen before. When God begins to move, you cannot stay still. You must move when He says move. Obedience is the ignition of divine destiny. There are moments in life when God allows everything to collapse, not because He wants to destroy you, but because He wants to rebuild you differently. You thought it was over, but God was simply tearing down a structure that couldn't sustain your next level. He is replacing weakness with strength, doubt with faith, fear with boldness. He is restoring your confidence, not in yourself, but in His power. This is why the storm came not to break you, but to awaken you. Some of you have been sleeping on your potential. God had to shake you so you could see who you really are. When God launches you, it will not be quiet. It will be undeniable. People will witness the transformation and be left speechless. They will ask, how did you get there so fast? And you will know it wasn't your effort, it was God's hand. He will take you from the back of the line to the front. He will lift you from obscurity to influence. He will take the one who was ignored and make them essential. That's the way God works. He delights in raising those who others overlooked. You are hidden because God wanted no man to take credit for your rising. He wanted to ensure that when the elevation comes, all glory belongs to Him. Some of you are about to walk into rooms you never thought you would enter. You will sit at tables that once seemed unreachable. But remember this, humility will keep you where pride would destroy you. When God launches you, stay grounded, stay connected to Him. Never forget the season when all you had was His promise. Never forget the nights you cried, the prayers you whispered, and the strength He gave you when nobody else understood. Gratitude is the key to sustaining divine favor. God blesses those who remember the source of their strength. In this new dimension, your voice will carry authority because it will not come from your ego, it will come from divine conviction. You will speak and things will shift. You will declare and doors will open. You will pray and answers will manifest. But this authority comes from intimacy with God. You must remain aligned with Him. You cannot operate in divine power if your heart is disconnected from His will. The deeper your surrender, the higher your elevation. The more you yield, the more He reveals. You see, before God elevates a person, He tests their heart. He allows them to face betrayal, criticism, and misunderstanding. Not to punish them, but to purify them. Because in the new dimension, you cannot afford bitterness. You cannot carry resentment. You cannot seek revenge. God will vindicate you if you stay still. Do not fight battles that are beneath your destiny. When God launches you, your silence will be your loudest weapon. Those who mocked you will witness your manifestation. Those who doubted you will watch God endorse you. There will come a point when you will look back at everything you've been through and realize it was all necessary. Every delay taught you patience. Every heartbreak taught you wisdom. Every loss deepened your dependence on God. You will no longer see your past as a prison, but as preparation. God wastes nothing. Even your pain has purpose. The tears you cried watered the seeds of your future. The loneliness you endured birthed your intimacy with the divine. Nothing was wasted. It was all part of the process leading to this very moment, to your launch. Now, as God begins to lift you, don't resist the change. The higher He takes you, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone can breathe where you're going. Fewer voices, fewer distractions, fewer attachments. The altitude requires solitude. Don't be afraid to walk alone for a season. God walks with those who trust Him in silence. He strengthens those who keep walking when others stop. You are not losing people. You are gaining clarity. You are not being isolated. You are being elevated. In this new dimension, divine favor will find you without effort. Opportunities will pursue you. You will not chase what is already yours. God will make your name echo in places you've never entered. But remember, favor is not for comfort. It is for purpose. He blesses you so you can become a blessing. He elevates you so you can lift others. He prospers you so you can reveal His glory. Your new dimension is not about status. It's about service. The higher He takes you, the more He expects you to serve with humility, love, and integrity. You are standing on the edge of something extraordinary. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt whisper lies into your spirit. What God is about to do in your life has never been done before. It will not follow logic. It will defy. You are about to see doors open that no human could open. You are about to witness breakthroughs that no system could produce. You are about to experience a dimension of favor, power, and clarity that will leave you in awe of God's greatness. God is about to launch you, and when He does, no force on earth can stop it. Not jealousy, not fear, not opposition. What is divinely ordained cannot be delayed forever. Your waiting season is coming to an end. Your time is now. Your moment has come. Stand firm, trust completely, and be ready, because the same God who watched you cry in private is about to reward you in public. You are being launched into your new dimension. When God decides to launch you into a new dimension, He does not consult your past to determine your future. He does not need the approval of people who once doubted you. God chooses you because He sees what others cannot. He sees potential beneath pain, strength beneath silence, and greatness beneath rejection. What you've gone through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal who you are when everything else is stripped away. God allowed the shaking to show you that what's inside you is unbreakable. The enemy thought the trial would bury you, but it only planted you deeper in faith. You are about to rise, not as who you were, but as who God designed you to become. Every divine launching begins with separation. God isolates before He elevates. He calls You away from noise, away from distraction, away from the familiar. Because in the new dimension, all the voices can no longer guide you. You cannot depend on opinions, you must depend on revelation. There comes a point when God removes your human support, so you learn to lean entirely on Him. You may feel alone, but you are being led into divine intimacy. That solitude you feel is not emptiness, it is a sacred space. It's where God whispers direction. It's where He strengthens your inner man. It's where He sharpens your discernment and prepares your spirit to hear His timing clearly. When you stop fighting the silence and start listening in it, you will discover that every moment of stillness was divine strategy. This next dimension requires a new version of you. God cannot elevate the version of you that still carries bitterness, fear, and self-doubt. He will strip away every false identity until only purpose remains. The pain you've been experiencing was never punishment, it was a pruning. God was cutting away everything that could not survive the altitude of your destiny. He had to remove certain attachments, break certain habits, and refine your mindset. Because what is coming demands maturity. The blessing you're about to walk into will expose every weakness you refuse to surrender. God is making sure your spirit is strong enough to handle the success He's preparing to pour out. Some people mistake delay for denial, but God's timing is never late, it's precise. Delay is His protection in disguise. You may think you are ready, but God knows when your environment, your spirit, and your purpose align perfectly. If He had given you what you prayed for too soon, it might have crushed you. But now, after the tears, after the training, after the waiting, you're ready to handle what others could not. Your delay was divine preparation. What took years to build will be rewarded in moments. When God says now, everything shifts. Doors that were locked will open without resistance. People who ignored you will suddenly remember your name. The same places that rejected you will now call you back in honor. But be careful. This new dimension is not just about visible blessings. It's about spiritual authority. God is giving you influence not for applause, but for impact. You are being positioned to change atmospheres. Your words will carry weight. Your prayers will release power. Your presence will bring peace. But with greater power comes greater responsibility. The closer you walk with God, the more He refines your motives. He will not allow pride to contaminate purpose. The moment you begin to think it's about you, He will remind you that it was always Him. Stay humble, stay surrendered, stay aligned. The safest place for your success is under God's control. When God launches you, don't expect everyone to celebrate. Some will misunderstand your elevation. Others will try to discredit it. That's part of the process. The same people who doubted you will now question how it happened. But remember, favor cannot be explained. It can only be observed. You do not owe anyone an explanation for the favor of God. Let your fruit speak for itself. Let your peace be your answer. The louder the criticism, the greater the evidence that you've shifted dimensions. You see, when you start to walk in divine momentum, spiritual opposition intensifies. Don't be alarmed. The enemy only attacks what threatens his kingdom. Your breakthrough is a proof that you become dangerous to darkness. And this is why you must guard your spirit, protect your peace, protect your focus. In this new dimension, distraction is the greatest enemy. Not every opportunity is from God. Not every voice deserves your attention. You must discern between good and divine. The good may look appealing, but the divine will align with your purpose. God is not calling you to be busy. He is calling you to be effective. Move with precision, not pressure. Listen before you act. God's guidance will never confuse you. It will clarify your path. The same God who brought you this far will continue to instruct you, but you must remain still enough to hear His whisper. There will come a time when you realize that the things that once satisfied you no longer do. That's how you know you've outgrown your old dimension. God enlarges your capacity before He enlarges your territory. He expands your hunger before He reveals your harvest. You will begin to feel restless, uncomfortable, even discontent with what used to bring you joy. Don't misinterpret that feeling. It's not ingratitude, it's evolution. God is stretching your spirit to fit the size of your next assignment. What once filled you now feels small because your destiny is expanding. Some of you are about to be catapulted into roles that carry divine responsibility. God will entrust you with influence, wealth, and visibility, not for personal glory, but for kingdom impact. You are being positioned to be a light in dark places. Your excellence will be your ministry. Your integrity will be your testimony. Your success will be a reflection of divine wisdom. But remember, God blesses those who remain faithful when no one is watching. The true test of a character happens in private. If you can manage obedience when nobody applauds, God can trust you with visibility when everyone's watching. Your new dimension will require discipline. God cannot pour new oil into an old vessel. He is demanding consistency in prayer, purity in motives, and perseverance in faith. You cannot enter divine territory with a casual spirit. You must be intentional, focused, and alert. Every morning you wake up is another opportunity to align yourself with God's will. Don't waste it on comparison or doubt. Focus on your lane. Run your race. The same God who gave others their timing will also fulfill yours. Comparison is a thief of peace, and jealousy is poison to destiny. Celebrate others because their success does not delay yours. When it is your time, no power on earth can withhold it. In this season, God is also restoring what you lost. You thought certain opportunities were gone forever. But God has a way of redeeming time. He can accelerate to you so quickly that what you lost in 10 years, you can recover in 1. The pain you endured will not go unrewarded. God keeps records, and He pays in abundance. He does not forget the sacrifices you made, the prayers you prayed, or the nights you persevered. He will turn your scars into stories of strength. He will turn your losses into lessons of wisdom. He will use every disappointment as a stepping stone to your destiny. You must prepare yourself mentally for abundance. Many people pray for blessings but are not mentally equipped to handle them. God is teaching you stewardship. He is teaching you balance. He is teaching you to be content, yet ambitious, to be confident, yet humble, because in your new dimension, temptation comes in subtle forms: pride, comfort, laziness, distraction. Guard yourself. Never forget the power that sustains you is not your own, it's divine. You rise not because of connections or a strategy, but because of obedience. And the same obedience that brought you here will keep you here. When God launches you, He accelerates everything around you. Relationships realign, resources multiply, and paths straighten. What used to take years begins to happen in months. But speed without structure is destruction. That's why He took time to prepare you. Now you will move faster, but with wisdom. You will speak less, but with greater impact. You will give more, but without fear. You will walk with a calm authority because you will know God is the one directing your every step. This dimension is not a dream, it's a reality waiting for your readiness. You've prayed long enough, now it's time to walk. You've waited long enough, now it's time to act. You've cried long enough, now it's time to rise. The season of stagnation is over. God is pushing you out of comfort into calling. You will no longer live beneath your potential. You will no longer settle for survival. You were made for significance. The same God who designed your beginning has already perfected your end. You are stepping into the middle, the moment where your faith meets fulfillment. And when it happens, it will happen suddenly. Overnight, things will change, doors will open, hearts will shift. The invisible will become visible. What you once dreamed will stand before your eyes. You will realize that nothing was ever random. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour was the hand of God guiding you toward this divine launch. The wind that once resisted you will now propel you. The mountains that once intimidated you will now move at your command, because when God launches you, creation itself cooperates with your purpose. You are not entering just another phase. You are entering a divine dimension where miracles become normal, where peace surpasses understanding, and where purpose replaces pressure. This is the season where your prayers and your preparation meet. You've passed the tests. You've endured the silence. You've remained faithful. Now the launch sequence has begun. The countdown is almost over. You can feel it in your spirit, the shift, the acceleration, the divine momentum. God is ready. The question is, are you? When God launches you into a new dimension, the shift is not only around you, it happens within you. Your inner atmosphere changes before your outer world reflects it. God transforms your perspective before He transforms your position. That is why lately nothing feels the same. The things that used to excite you no longer move you. The conversations that once entertained you now feel empty, and the places that once felt comfortable now feel too small. It's because your spirit has outgrown your surroundings. You are no longer in alignment with the level you were in. You are being prepared for something greater. God is expanding you from the inside out. And though it feels uncomfortable, it is the surest sign that elevation is near. This transformation does not begin with opportunity, it begins with revelation. God reveals to you who you truly are before He reveals to others who you are becoming. He gives you glimpses of your future so that your faith will not faint during the process. He stirs your spirit with the visions, ideas, and the dreams that seem too large for your current situation. You may not have the resources, the connections, or the support yet, but you have the revelation, and that is enough. Because when God shows you something, He is also showing you what He has already established in the spiritual realm. You are merely catching up to what has already been declared. That's why your heart knows it before your eyes see it. In this next dimension, God will train your mind to think differently. The same thoughts that sustained you in survival will not sustain you in expansion. You must learn to think from abundance, not scarcity, from faith, not fear. God is reshaping the way you perceive delay, opposition, and uncertainty. Where others see obstacles, you will see divine test. Where others see rejection, you will see redirection. The person who has learned to see God in all things cannot be shaken by anything. This is the level of maturity God is cultivating in you, where your trust is so deep that even in chaos, your heart is still. You must also understand that divine promotion often comes disguised as discomfort. God will stretch you to prepare you for the magnitude of His blessing. You will be asked to leave behind what is familiar to step into what is promised. Many people abort their divine launch because they cling to comfort. But elevation requires exit. You cannot enter a new dimension while holding onto the weight of the old. God will sometimes close doors that you didn't have the courage to shut. He will disconnect you from people, habits, and patterns that no longer serve your future. It will hurt, but it is holy. The cutting away is not cruelty, it's care. God removes what cannot sustain you where He is taking you. This is also the season where your faith will be tested like never before. God will give you instructions that do not make sense to human logic. He will ask you to take steps without seeing the full staircase. You may not understand it now, but obedience is the currency of this dimension. Every act of obedience releases supernatural alignment. When you trust God beyond the reason, you open the door to results beyond the comprehension. Faith is not believing when you see, it is believing until you see. And in this new season, your obedience will be the signal that activates your elevation. Many people crave manifestation but resist the process. They want divine results without divine discipline, but God does not build greatness on unstable ground. Before He increases your influence, He tests your integrity. Before He gives you a platform, He examines your private life. Because power without purity is dangerous. You cannot carry divine authority if you still seek validation from people. God must purify your motives until the only thing that drives you is purpose. That's why He allowed you to face seasons where nobody clapped for you, so you could learn to move even without applause. Your worth was never dependent on recognition. It was established by divine assignment. In the new dimension, your circle will change. God will send people who see your potential and push you higher. But He will also remove those who drain your energy and limit your vision. Do not mourn the departures. Every person who exits your life creates space for those aligned with your destiny. Elevation demands separation. When God chooses to expand you, He also chooses who can go with you. And often, the answer is not many. You must be okay with walking alone for a while. Because when you walk with God, you are never truly alone. Solitude is where He reveals strategies that cannot be learned in crowds. It is where He deposits ideas that will transform your future. As God launches you, the attacks may increase, but so will your authority. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the harder the resistance becomes. That is not a sign that you're losing, it's proof that you're near. The enemy does not fight those who pose no threat. The battle intensifies when victory is near. That's why you cannot afford to faint now. You've come too far to turn back. Every trial you've endured has been training. Every storm has built stamina. You are no longer fragile, you are fortified. What used to break you will now build you. What once frightened you will now fuel you. You are stronger because of the struggle. This next dimension will not require you to prove yourself. It will require you to be yourself. You have spent years trying to fit into spaces that were never designed for you. But now, God is giving you your own platform, your own lane, your own light. You will not have to compete for attention because your authenticity will command it. God did not call you to imitate. He called you to originate. The uniqueness you once questioned will now become your advantage. The very thing that made you feel different will make you effective. Stop hiding the parts of you that God intentionally created to stand out. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shine. And understand this, divine launch is not only about your personal success, it's about divine assignment. God is elevating you because He can trust you to carry His influence into the world. You are being raised not for luxury, but for legacy. The favor on your life is not just for you, it's for those connected to you. Your obedience will open doors for generations after you. That's how God operates. He multiplies impact through the obedient. The blessing that begins with you will not end with you. It will flow through you, touching lives you may never even meet. That is why your elevation carries responsibility. Every blessing you receive is a call to build something greater than yourself. In this dimension, you will notice that peace becomes your priority. What once required your reaction will no longer deserve your energy. God is teaching you how to master silence, because in silence there is a strength. When you no longer need to explain yourself, defend yourself, or chase validation, you have matured spiritually. God will fight for you in ways that words never could. He will vindicate you in His timing. Those who spoke against you will have to witness your rise, and when they do, your humility will be the loudest sermon. You will prove that it was never about revenge, it was always about purpose. This is also the season where God will surprise you. Unexpected doors will open. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere, and people you've never met will be used as instruments to bless you. But don't get distracted by the blessing. Stay focused on the blesser. The purpose of the blessing is not to elevate your comfort, but to magnify God's glory. Every miracle is an invitation to draw closer, not drift away. The more God gives you, the more He wants you to depend on Him. Prosperity without presence is emptiness. Success without submission is danger. So as He elevates you, stay anchored in gratitude. Gratitude keeps pride from creeping in. Gratitude reminds your heart that everything you have came from His hand. You will know you have entered your new dimension when peace surrounds you, even in pressure. You will speak with authority, even in uncertainty. You will walk with confidence, even when you don't see the full path. That's how divine maturity looks. It's not the absence of storms. It's the ability to remain still within them. God will give you unshakable peace that no circumstance can steal. People will wonder how you remain calm when everything around you is shifting. You will tell them, it's because I know who controls the wind. This is your divine hour of launching. The waiting is over. The preparation has served its purpose. Everything you've endured was a countdown leading to this moment. You can feel the vibration in your spirit, the sense that something monumental is about to unfold. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's propulsion. It's the force that lifts you into the atmosphere of destiny. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The turbulence is a sign that liftoff has begun. Now rise with boldness. Speak with conviction. Move with faith. Because when God launches you, you will soar beyond limits. You will enter dimensions you never thought possible. You will see doors open without keys, paths appear without maps, and blessings flow without explanation. You will realize that what once intimidated you was never bigger than the God within you. You will live, walk, and breathe purpose at a level that commands attention not to yourself, but to the greatness of God who made it all possible. Have you ever looked at someone you once called a friend, someone you trusted with your heart, your secrets, your dreams, and then realized that person was never truly with you? Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal, the quiet heartbreak of discovering that the one you helped rise was secretly hoping you would fall? My friend, when that moment comes, don't curse it. Don't question it. Because when God begins to reveal fake people in your life, it's not punishment, it's protection. It's not rejection, it's redirection. It is God, in His infinite wisdom, clearing your path so that your destiny is not delayed by deceitful hearts pretending to care. There are moments in life when God must allow masks to fall. He must expose the ones who smile in your face but whisper against you when you turn your back. He must uncover the truth hidden behind kind words, sweet gestures, and empty promises. Because where you are going, not everyone can follow. Where God is taking you, not every hand can hold yours. So when people begin to show their true colors, understand God painted that revelation for your protection. Some of you are praying for God to bless you, to elevate you, to open doors. But before He can lift you, He must sift you. Before He promotes you, He must purify your circle. Because fake people are like parasites. They drain your faith, they distort your peace, and they disguise themselves as support while secretly hoping you never grow beyond their reach. God sees what you cannot. He hears conversation you were never meant to hear. He reads hearts that are smiling at you but plotting behind you. And when the time comes, He doesn't expose them to hurt you. He exposes them to heal you. So when people start walking away, when sudden distance appears where there was once closeness, don't chase them. Don't run after anyone. God is removing from your life. Because if they were meant to stay, no power could make them leave. And if they are leaving, no prayer can make them stay. God removes what will harm you before you even realize its danger. You might cry now, but one day you will look back and thank God that He took them away before they took you down. Sometimes fake people are not loud enemies. They are quiet companions. They laugh at your jokes, they celebrate your wins, but only until your light starts to shine brighter than theirs. Then jealousy takes root. Envy creeps in. Their smiles become strained. Their support becomes selective, and their hearts begin to shift. You sense something is wrong. You can feel their energy changing. That's not paranoia, that's discernment. God is whispering, be still, watch, I'm revealing. When God wants to protect you, He allows situations to test the loyalty of those around you. He lets your blessings expose their intentions. Because prosperity reveals who is truly for you, just as adversity reveals who truly loves you. The same people who praised you when you were down will often envy you when you rise. God knows who can celebrate your success without resentment and who will secretly curse your growth. And so He reveals through silence, through distance, through small cracks that eventually show the full face behind the mask. Do not despise this revelation, because each one is a divine warning. Every person God removes is a lesson in disguise. He doesn't just expose the fake, He strengthens your discernment. He teaches you how to see beyond words and into spirit. He trains your eyes to recognize energy that doesn't match intention. That's how He prepares you for your next level by sharpening your spiritual vision. God knows the danger of fake loyalty. He knows the poison of false love. That's why He will sometimes bring conflict into a friendship you thought would last forever, not to destroy it, but to show you what it was built on. Because relationships not founded on truth cannot withstand divine testing. When the season changes, their motives are revealed. Some people were only meant to walk with you in comfort, not in calling. They were comfortable with the old version of you, but cannot handle the new one God is forming. And so He separates you, not because they are bad people, but because they are not aligned with your purpose. Every time God removes someone, He is protecting your destiny. Every time He exposes deception, He is redirecting your focus. You might wonder, why did I have to go through that betrayal? Because pain reveals truth. You wouldn't have listened to words, but you learned through wounds. God allows hurt to become holy instruction. He uses heartbreak to teach discernment. He turns disappointment into divine revelation. There are seasons when God hides the truth until you are strong enough to handle it. If He showed you too soon, you would cling to what He's trying to release. That's why you sometimes feel confused when good people turn cold or loyal friends grow distant. But later, when the full truth unfolds, you see, it was God's mercy all along. He let them show you just enough of their true nature so you could walk away without regret. That's divine wisdom, protecting your heart before it breaks beyond repair. When fake people leave your life, do not seek closure from them. Seek clarity from God. Ask Him, what were you trying to teach me through this? Because revelation is not just about others, it's about you. Maybe He's showing you that your trust was misplaced, that your discernment needs sharpening, that you were too eager to believe words without watching actions. God uses people to reflect your spiritual readiness. Every fake person revealed is a mirror showing you how much you've grown or how much you still need to grow. And here's something powerful. God doesn't just remove fake people, He also exposes fake parts of you. Sometimes the deception we experience is meant to reveal the illusions within ourselves, the need for approval, the fear of being alone, the desire to be liked at any cost. These are the openings that let fake people in. God reveals them not to shame you, but to heal you. He wants your heart to be guarded, not hardened, discerning, not distrustful. When God is elevating you, He isolates you. You may think that you're losing people, but in truth, you're gaining peace. You may think you're walking alone, but in truth, you're walking closer to God. He is pruning your life, cutting away the branches that no longer bear fruit. And pruning hurts. But remember, God only prunes what He intends to grow. There are fake people whose words sound spiritual, but whose hearts are self-serving. They use kindness as a costume and religion as a performance. But God sees their core. He listens to motives, not just messages. And when your spirit becomes sensitive to His guidance, you begin to see what He sees. You stop being deceived by appearance and start being led by truth. That's when peace enters. That's when wisdom deepens. Because discernment is the language of divine protection. Every person in your life is either a bridge or a burden. God reveals fake people because He doesn't want you carrying dead weight into living seasons. You cannot fly with anchors tied to your heart. You cannot rise if you keep holding on to those who secretly want you to fall. So when He exposed them, let them go. Don't argue. Don't explain. Don't retaliate. Silence is the language of strength. Peace is the proof of maturity. There are moments when you will be tempted to question God. Why would you allow them to betray me after everything I did for them? Because He wanted you to see that loyalty cannot be bought with kindness. It must be proven through testing. He allowed you to be good to those who would not return it, so you could learn how to give without expectation. He let you experience false love so you could recognize real love when it comes. He let people betray you so your trust would no longer rest in man, but in God alone. The more God reveals, the more He refines you. Each exposure is purification. He is burning away naivety, pride, and dependency on others. He is shaping your heart for higher callings. Because when God wants to entrust you with a greater responsibility, He first teaches you how to discern people. Not everyone who claps for you wants you to succeed. Not everyone who listens wants to learn. Some people draw close not because they love you, but because they envy the favor you carry. But you must understand, favor attracts both angels and imitators. The brighter your light, the more moths will gather. Yet God does not allow anyone to deceive you for long. He will bring truth to the surface. He will let words contradict actions. He will allow lies to unravel themselves. Because truth is a fire, it always burns through the mask. And when the truth comes, do not fear it. Embrace it. God's revelation is always redemptive. It might break your heart, but it will free your soul. You will come out wiser, stronger, and more spiritually attuned. You will no longer chase validation from temporary people, because you will know that your worth is defined by the one who created you, not by those who left you. The most dangerous thing you can do is ignore the signs God sends. Sometimes He shows you through discomfort. Every time you talk to that person, your peace feels disturbed. Sometimes He shows you through dreams, through intuition, through unexplainable distance. Don't dismiss those nudges. That's God whispering, pay attention. When He reveals, respond quickly. Disobedience to revelation leads to unnecessary pain. When God reveals fake people, it's never to make you bitter, it's to make you better. Bitterness keeps you chained to betrayal. Forgiveness frees you into destiny. So forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because your spirit deserves peace. Let God handle what you cannot. He is both just and merciful, and His justice will always vindicate those who trust in Him. You see, sometimes God will allow you to sit at the same table with those who secretly despise you, not to shame you, but to show them that their hate cannot stop your purpose. He will let your enemies watch you rise, not out of pride, but as a testimony that no weapon formed against you can prosper when you walk under divine favor. That's how God reveals fake people, not through revenge, but through your continued elevation. There will come a time when you no longer feel the need to expose anyone, because when you trust God, exposure becomes His job, not yours. You don't have to fight to prove your truth. Truth defends itself. God will make sure the very people who lied about you live long enough to see that their lies could not destroy you. That's divine vindication. When God begins to reveal fake people in your life, He is also revealing the depth of your own spiritual maturity. You see, revelation is not just about exposing others. It is about awakening your soul. Every encounter with deception is an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more anchored in God. God does not allow betrayal without purpose. Every lie, every secret agenda, every smile that hid poison is part of a divine curriculum to teach you discernment. And if you will receive it, that curriculum will make you unshakable. Sometimes fake people linger for a reason. God allows them to stay long enough so you can witness their true nature unfold before your eyes. He lets the mask slip in small ways through inconsistency, through disrespect, through moments when their true heart speaks louder than their words. If you are paying attention, you will see the subtle shifts that God orchestrates. The avoidance when you need them most, the judgment when you rise, the envy when you succeed. These are not accidents, they are divine signals. God's way of saying, pay attention. I am showing you who belongs in your life and who does not. And you will learn to recognize them without confrontation, without accusation, without the need to prove yourself. God's revelation operates quietly but powerfully. He whispers through intuition, through sleepless nights, through the uneasy feeling in your soul that something is off. Learn to listen. Learn to trust these moments, for they are God's protective shield around your heart. Every uncomfortable truth is a gift wrapped in disguise. Every betrayal is a lesson in the school of the Spirit. Do not mistake God's silence for ignorance. Sometimes He allows fake people to act because He is testing you. He is testing your patience, your wisdom, your integrity. Will you respond with anger? Will you retaliate? Or will you rise above, anchored in His guidance, untouchable by deceit? The one who understands God's timing knows that silence can be louder than confrontation. When you trust God, you do not have to scream your truth to the world. God vindicates silently, powerfully, and decisively. God also uses fake people to reveal your own weaknesses. Sometimes we are drawn to the wrong people because of insecurity, fear of loneliness, or desire for acceptance. God allowed this relationship to show you where your dependence lies, not in Him, but in human affirmation. And when the truth is revealed, it is not meant to shame you, it is meant to redirect you. God wants your trust fully rooted in Him, not in the approval of hearts that will inevitably change. Understand this. Fake people cannot harm you unless you allow them to. God gives you authority over your spirit. He gives you discernment. He gives you peace that surpasses understanding. And when you recognize deception, you are empowered to make a decision that protects your destiny. God is not calling you to bitterness. He is calling you to vigilance, to wisdom, to alignment with His divine plan. Every mask that falls is an invitation to live with clarity and purpose. Sometimes God reveals fake people through circumstances. The opportunities they promised never materialize. The loyalty they vowed disappears when you need it most. The kindness they displayed was conditional, built on convenience rather than true devotion. These moments are not coincidences. They are orchestrated by God. Every delay, every closed door, every unanswered call is a divine confirmation that what you saw on the surface was never real. God does not want you to walk with shadows. He wants you to walk with truth. And there is a profound beauty in God's timing. He does not reveal fake people too soon because premature revelation could cause confusion. He does not allow deception to linger too long, because prolonged exposure could cause destruction. God balances mercy and justice perfectly. When you see the mask slip, trust that His timing is flawless. The revelation may sting, but it will also free you. The exposure may hurt, but it will also protect you. And the distance you feel is not abandonment, it is alignment with a higher destiny. When God exposes fake people, He also teaches you the power of detachment. The more you cling to relationships that are not aligned with His will, the more you give away your peace. God desires for you to walk lightly, unburdened by manipulation, envy, or hidden agendas. And detachment does not mean hatred. Detachment means trust in God's plan. Detachment means understanding that not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. Some are meant to teach, some are meant to test, and some are meant to live. God knows the difference, and so must you. And as He removes these people, you will begin to notice something remarkable. God will replace emptiness with a presence. The spaces left behind by false companions will be filled with divine encounters, with the souls that uplift and inspire, with the connections that resonate with the truth. What was once a void becomes fertile ground for blessing. God does not leave a vacuum. He fills it with a purpose. And those who are fake were never meant to hinder you. They were meant to make room for what is real. Do not waste energy lamenting over the hearts that were never yours to keep. Instead, focus on the heart that created you, that knows you completely, and that orchestrates every step of your journey. Every person God removes is a sign that your faith is maturing. Every betrayal is a signal that you are becoming spiritually equipped to handle what is coming. Every exposure is proof that God's hand is guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for the fullness of His plan. There is power in being alone under God's guidance. Alone does not mean lonely, it means unhindered. Alone does not mean forsaken, it means faithful. Alone does not mean abandoned, it means protected. Because God does not require the world to validate you. He does not need people to approve of you. When He reveals fake people, He is clearing distractions so you can walk in freedom, purpose, and alignment with His will. And here is the most profound truth. When God removes fake people, He is showing you your own worth. He is reminding you that you are not defined by the acceptance of others, the loyalty of friends, or the approval of hearts that were never true. You are defined by Him, the Creator, the Sustainer, the one who knows your potential, your destiny, and your power. And when you finally grasp that, the betrayal loses its sting, the deception loses its weight, and the departure loses its sorrow. Because your value is eternal, anchored in God, and no human fickleness can alter it. God also uses fake people to teach the power of wisdom in relationship. He is training you to observe before you trust, to measure intentions before you invest, and to value actions over words. The ones who truly belong in your life will never need to prove themselves. They will show up consistently, speak truth without manipulation, and celebrate your light without envy. And the ones who cannot, no matter how long they have been in your life, are not yours to keep. God reveals them so you can invest in the divine connections that will propel you forward. Every exposure of a fake person is a call to gratitude. Gratitude for clarity, gratitude for protection, gratitude for growth. God is merciful even in revealing deception. He does not leave you blind to danger. He does not allow betrayal without teaching. He does not let deceit linger without consequence. And as you walk in gratitude for His revelation, your spirit becomes unshakable, your faith becomes unmovable, and your path becomes illuminated with divine purpose. When God exposes fake people, remember that forgiveness is your weapon, peace is your shield, and discernment is your sword. Forgive not for them, but for your heart. Guard your peace, for it is sacred. And wield discernment as a divine gift so you can navigate life without stumbling into deception again. The exposure is not just about others, it is about your spiritual elevation. God reveals the fake so you can ascend, not just survive. Do not fear the revelation of fake people, for it is a sign that God is awakening your spirit to a higher level of discernment. Those who were once close to you, who smiled when you smiled, who laughed when you laughed, they are not always meant to remain. And when their true colors are exposed, do not mourn their departure. Instead, honor the wisdom of God that removed them before their deceit could derail your destiny. The revelation of their hearts is not a tragedy, it is triumph. Every mask that falls is a testament to God's protection. Every betrayal, a reminder of His unyielding watch over your life. Understand that God often allows fake people to linger just enough to reveal their essence through action, not words. Words can deceive, promises can manipulate, but actions, consistent, unmistakable actions cannot lie. Watch carefully, observe, discern. God gives you the spiritual sight to notice patterns, the sensitivity to feel energy, and the wisdom to understand intention. What they say may be honey, but what they do reveals venom. And when the truth is uncovered, do not react in haste. React in faith. React in alignment with God. Allow Him to guide your response, because vengeance belongs to God and He never errs in justice. Fake people often arrive in your life disguised as necessity. They may appear during your struggles, during your needs, during your moments of vulnerability, pretending to be indispensable, and yet their presence is a test, a divine measurement of your spiritual maturity. Will you trust God above the temporary comfort of human approval? Will you rely on His provision rather than the fleeting support of hearts that are not genuine? God allows this tension to reveal true loyalty and to teach you the strength of standing alone when necessary. There is a power in solitude under God's guidance. Solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. It is a season where your faith grows deeper, your vision becomes clearer, and your spirit aligns fully with the divine purpose. In solitude, God teaches you to value authenticity above companionship. He teaches you to recognize truth above flattery. He teaches you to rely on the eternal, not the ephemeral. The exposure of fake people often coincides with periods of preparation, because God does not elevate hearts weighed down by deception, nor does He bless hands still entangled in manipulation. Fake people also reveal the depth of your own integrity. When their deceit is uncovered, notice your reaction. Do you lower yourself to bitterness and retaliation? Or do you rise above, anchored in God's wisdom and justice? God used these exposures not only to remove false hearts, but to refine yours. He is shaping a character that will never be shaken by betrayal, that will not stumble under envy, and that will always remain steadfast in truth. The higher the revelation, the stronger your foundation must be. God is building fortresses of faith within you that cannot be penetrated by human treachery. And you will notice something remarkable. The exposure of fake people often coincides with the unveiling of your true purpose. God reveals them precisely when your destiny begins to emerge in clarity and power. Their presence becomes incompatible with the season God is bringing you into. Their negativity, their envy, their self-serving hearts cannot withstand the light of your calling. And so God allowed the mask to fall, the disguise to unravel, and the truth to surface. Their departure is not a loss, it is divine alignment. God's revelation is often subtle but undeniable. It comes in small nudges, a lingering doubt that refuses to be ignored, a sudden intuition that proves accurate, a series of circumstances that consistently point to the same truth. Learn to trust these moments. God speaks in whispers of discernment before He moves in thunderous acts of protection. The sooner you recognize these divine signals, the sooner you can release the people and parents that do not belong to your spiritual path. Ignoring these signs leads only to pain. Heeding them leads to preservation and growth. The removal of fake people also teaches you humility. It reminds you that loyalty cannot be manufactured or coerced. It cannot be demanded. God demonstrates that relationship, like blessings, must flow naturally and authentically. When someone is revealed to be fake, it is not a failure on your part. It is divine clarity showing you the limits of human loyalty. And it is a reminder that true alignment, both in relationships and in destiny, is orchestrated by God, not by human desire. Moreover, God's exposure of fake people often strengthens your spiritual immunity. Each encounter with a deception trains your soul to resist manipulation, envy, and false affection. You begin to see the difference between those who speak truth and those who perform it. You become sensitive to energy, intuitive to hidden agendas, and fearless in guarding your peace. In this way, every fake person revealed is a teacher, every betrayal a tutor, every mask that falls a lesson in spiritual vigilance. God is cultivating a wisdom within you that cannot be learned in comfort, only through trial and revelation. And remember, God does not reveal fake people to shame you, to embarrass you, or to diminish your faith. He reveals them to elevate you. The exposure is a divine strategy, a spiritual alignment, a preparation for the fullness of what He has planned. Those who leave were never meant to advance with you. Those who falter were never meant to anchor you. And those who deceive were never meant to define you. God's revelation is a protective hand, guiding your steps and removing obstacles that would otherwise hinder your ascent. There is a sacred timing to every revelation. Fake people are exposed precisely when you are spiritually ready to handle the truth. Too early, and you may respond with confusion, anger, or despair. Too late, and you may endure unnecessary damage. God, in His infinite wisdom, orchestrates the perfect moment. The mask falls when your heart is prepared to see it without breaking, when your spirit is strong enough to release it without resentment, and when your faith is anchored enough to trust Him completely in the process. Every exposure is also an opportunity for gratitude. Gratitude may seem difficult when betrayal stings, but it is the key to spiritual freedom. Be grateful for clarity, for protection, for revelation. Be grateful that God does not allow deception to linger unnoticed. that He does not let manipulation thrive in silence. Be grateful for the lesson, the discernment, and the refinement that each fake person brings. Because when you embrace gratitude in the midst of revelation, your spirit becomes unshakable. Your faith becomes unmovable, and your path becomes illuminated with divine wisdom. And in the aftermath, walk boldly in peace. Do not seek revenge. Do not attempt to prove yourself. Do not cling to those who have revealed their hearts. God is your vindicator. He is the protector of your soul. He is the one who balances scales, corrects injustice, and rewards faithfulness. The departure of fake people is not a curse, it is a blessing. The revelation of deceit is not punishment, it is protection. And as you continue on your journey, you will see the hand of God in every unveiling, every betrayal, and every departure, guiding you toward authentic relationship, spiritual growth, and destiny fulfilled. The ones who remain after God's revelation are not there by accident. They are divinely assigned. They are aligned with your purpose, your calling, and your destiny. Their hearts resonate with authenticity. Their intentions mirror truth, and their presence strengthens your journey rather than weakening it. God reveals fake people so that you may recognize the real, so that you may invest in the divine connections that uplift, inspire, and advance you toward your destiny. And when you surround yourself with the authentic, your life flourishes in ways that were never possible when weighed down by deception. God's revelation also teaches patience. Not every mask falls at once, and not every heart is revealed immediately. Some people take time to show their true colors, and God allows this gradually so that you can develop endurance, discernment, and spiritual wisdom. You learn to observe patterns, test intentions, and measure character over time. This patience, cultivated under God's guidance, becomes a shield against the future deception. It strengthens your soul, aligns your heart with the truth, and prepares you to recognize authenticity the moment it enters your life. And finally, when God reveals fake people, He is showing you that your destiny is sacred and untouchable. Nothing can harm the plan He has for you. Not betrayal, not deceit, not envy, not manipulation. Every exposure, every departure, every unveiling is a step toward the fulfillment of what He has ordained. Fake people cannot steal your purpose. They cannot derail your calling. God's plan is greater than any human deception. And when you trust Him fully, you will rise above every mask, every lie, every betrayal, and walk in peace, clarity, and divine alignment.